Welcome to tonight's Giving Ground. Tonight I will be interviewing Shane Baxter. But before I do that, I just want to give a little bit of a shout out to some of my favourite vendors in the area. Gathering Point Games in Darlington, a great place to go and play. The Bay Games in Whitley Bay, run by Kieran, another great place for card games and board games. And the D6 Den in Washington, where you can play free of charge in a great shop run by Dan. Now that I've got out of the way, I would like everybody, if possible, to give me a like and a subscribe so that you can see all the new content come up. Keep following the show and supporting me in every way possible. I am running this show basically off my own back. I'm not looking to make money or anything like that from it, but I would appreciate anybody who enjoys the show and wants to give a little bit of support. Just use the Buy Me a Coffee link, where you can basically give a few pounds to help me running the studio software, the little bit of time it takes to prepare the shows, and so on and so forth. But again, I'm not looking to make $1 million from podcast. Basically, why am I doing this? A wee while ago, I was helping out with another bunch of podcasters, and I quite enjoyed getting online, having a chat, and basically just talking about the hobby. It's been a great passion of mine for many, many years. So I thought, what better way to give back to the community than to do a little bit of a chat show of all the great people that I know, people who've been playing tournaments and playing the game for years. So that's what it's all about. And that's what I'm hoping to bring to you on a bi-weekly or a fortnightly basis. Just getting some of the guys I know in for a chat, anything between an hour and 90 minutes, and just basically talking about them, the hobby, and what makes Warhammer the Old World such a great game. So, without much further ado, I'm going to introduce to you Shane. We'll be back shortly to start this off. Good evening, Shane, and welcome to the podcast. How are you doing tonight?
I'm not too bad, Sib. How about yourself?
Very good. I'm very excited to be getting this kicked off. I've been waiting for the last few days to obviously get you online. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for being the first, and thank you for being my guinea pig, so to speak.
No worries. Happy to talk, as always.
Yeah, I mean, most people I've talked to about this have been quite enthusiastic about it, and they've said the same thing. I'm happy to come on and talk. It is a board gamer thing, isn't it, that we like to prattle on?
That we do. And never stop.
Yeah. So let's answer the first question. Who is Shane Baxter?
Oh, that's a bit of a question. I'm originally a southerner from Cambridgeshire. I know, shocked. But I've been living in the northeast now, in Teesside, for about 20
22, 23?
Yeah, something like that, 22 years. So I moved up to university with my wife and then couldn't afford to move back, so ended up sticking up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, good old place. Don't mind Teesside.
Yeah, and you live Redcar, is it?
I do, yeah. Live currently in Redcar, yeah.
And is there much going on around Redcar, gaming-wise?
There's a few bits. We've got a cool shop run by our local guy Gav, gaming figures.
Cool, give him a shout out by all means.
Yeah, Gav, if you want to buy anything, he's actually got a sale on at the moment for 20% off on Games Workshop. So I'll give him a little pop there. Gamingfigures.com.
Cool.
Yeah, he runs the Redcar Raiders Wargaming Club. So that's kind of everything really. It's got fantasy, it's got 40k, like your sci-fi stuff, it's got historicals, board games, what have you. They meet on a Monday and Thursday. So yeah.
Oh, cool. I like a multidiscipline club. There is more to life than just Warhammer the Old World, but
yeah, definitely.
Not as far as this podcast goes.
No.
So that is Shane Baxter. Obviously, I met you. Well, we'll talk about that in one of the other points. We'll not give it away just yet. But I think I've known you for a good 20 years now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we met about 2005.
Yeah, 2005, yeah.
So that's who Sean Baxter is, Shane. I'm terrible. You know what? Terrible with names. Always have been.
I mean, I don't mind what you call me as long as it's pleasant. And, it depends on how many drinks you've had. It might not be.
Well, I've called you a lot of things over the years, but it's normally been positive. So let's have a look about your origin story. How did you get into wargaming? Where did you come from? What were the early days like?
Oh, God, I got into wargaming in, I want to say, in the early 90s, mid to early 90s. And I was just saw a good old Citadel catalogue that they used to have back in the day. And I think it was my local toy shop had some Black Orcs, you know, the old £5 boxes, and a
Right.
box of 10 Black Orcs, and I was like, "Oh my god, they look so amazing. I'll get them." And it just started from there, so that I think it was back in 4th edition with the goblins and the high elves in the box set, and the cardboard griffin. Always loved fantasy. Flitted around with 40K for a little bit, when, kind of fantasy died off in my local area. Moved up to uni, and basically met you guys up there. Yeah, it's kind of been playing since then. So 6th edition, 7th, 8th. Then when Games Workshop kind of exploded 8th, I moved over to the 9th Age, which is like a fan-based fantasy series,
Yeah.
and then keep playing that. And now the Old World's out. Started playing that again. I still play 9th Age as well, but the Old World's probably my main game at the moment.
Cool.
I do also sort of dabble a little bit in a few of the games like 40K and Infinity, Bushido, those kind of things. But rank and flanks, square bases are always been
It's where, yeah, it's
my jam.
where your heart lives, is it?
It is indeed, yeah.
That's cool. I mean, I always find people's way into the hobby it was one of the most interesting things to chat about. It's normally so similar. I think everyone kind of finds a way into it in a very similar way.
Yeah,
But so, well, we'll tick that one off. Next, let's talk clubs, teams, and affiliations. Now, I know there's a few different things we're going to hit on here. Obviously, as I said before, we met in 2005 when you come to join the NWA,
yeah,
and we were playing at Games of War and Siam.
we were indeed, yeah.
Yeah,
I think I was rocking the was it the Ravening Hordes Curse Dwarfs at that point?
possibly could have
Um,
been.
yeah, I think you were maybe Tomb Kings.
No, I think when we started with I think it was Lizardmen actually when the NWA started. But you know me, I've always had
I know it
about
was one of the times. Yeah,
yeah, I've always had 3 or 4 armies on the run. So, like saying I was an Empire player or I was an XYZ player, it's not the
yeah,
case.
yeah. I started off with at that point Chaos Dwarfs, but you know me, I'm like a butterfly when it comes to armies. Any new thing that I see, just
Yeah,
got to try that.
the club I know you from is the NWA. It was a club that I helped run, and we did do a lot of tournaments back then.
We did, yeah.
We basically used to do a lot of Warhammer tournaments. We also played in the club challenge,
Yeah.
and we had a big rivalry with who? Tell me about this rivalry we had.
Oh, the rivalry was it with the Terra Nova Griffins,
It
TNG?
was, yes, it was.
Yeah, that was an interesting rivalry, definitely.
Yes,
A
we had
club
the
in is it Altrincham over in the northwest? They're based around Liverpool,
Ulster,
Altrincham.
I think it was.
Yeah, I
Um,
feel like it's somewhere around there, but I know there always used to be grudge matches between us,
yes,
and
we had the
yeah,
Badger Trophy.
and the Badger. Oh god, I'd forgotten about the Badger. That was a classic trophy.
Yeah,
Um,
for the people watching, the Badger Trophy was every time the Terra Nova Griffins TNG and the NWA played each other in tournaments. Whoever got the most wins between the two clubs took home the Badger Trophy, which was the worst ornament that you've ever
yeah.
seen. It was just like, I wish I had a photograph of it, but it was just nasty. Uh,
Who ended up with a Badger trophy at the end? I don't know.
ooh, I want to say that we took, because we didn't do very well in it head to head. I think there was about 10 tournaments in a row where we didn't win it. And I'm sure we took it off them right at the end,
I think we might have, yeah.
because I'm pretty sure we volleyed it into a stream or something somewhere.
Yeah, I think we yeah, I think we forced them. Like we beat them so badly they gave up wargaming.
Yes. Yeah, I mean that is. I'm very surprised. The likes of Marcus, Rob Downey, Steve Halliwell, Chris didn't
Andy
ever.
Potter?
I'm sure Andy Potter is Andy Dalton now, and he's gone
Oh yeah.
somewhere else. But yeah, I'm very surprised none of them got back into the old world. I definitely messaged them all when it was coming out, and like try to get the vibe and see if they were interested in it.
Yeah,
But yeah, they all seem to have got other lives now. Imagine that. Imagine having
no.
something else to do in your life.
Families? No.
So, what else? Teams you played in the ETC, I believe.
I did, yes. I played in 5 or 6 ETCs.
Right,
Um,
that's a fair few.
yeah. I played for Northern Ireland. I was originally a backup for Team England,
Yeah.
like a stand-in, and then one of the guys that was running the team or captain of Team Northern Ireland, Johnny Fisher at the time,
Yeah.
uh, just messaged and said, "Any chance you can play for us because we're down a team member?" I was, yeah, sure, no problem. And yeah, so went to Germany twice, did Switzerland, Poland, and twice in Serbia.
Serbia, Christ.
Yeah, cracking place.
I hope
All,
you didn't stay in
all
a hostel or anything like that.
wait, do you know we stayed in a hostel, and this linking into experiences. We stayed in a hostel in Switzerland because we were stingy as anything. It was unfortunately backed on to the main train line that goes through Switzerland. It was in Montreux in Switzerland, and about every 30 minutes, a train came through. So all through the night, it was horrendous. And we'd booked in for the team to have rooms, like with 4 people to a room. And then when we got there, they'd moved us all about. We were sharing with random people. Some people were war gamers, some who weren't. And yeah, but I mean, we spent most of the time drunk, so it probably didn't matter too much. And on the plus side, there was a lovely lake just outside that you could go swimming in. Well, maybe not necessarily you could go swimming in, but we did go swimming in.
Right. Oh, well, that sounds great. I mean, I only played ETC games once. I captained Team England, as you know.
Was that Italy?
It was Italy 2008.
Yeah, because I think I was
Um,
2009 onwards. Yeah,
and
2009, 2015.
it put me off team play. I kind of made sure the committee was set up for picking the teams going forward. But I don't know, it wasn't my kind of cup of tea. Would I give it another crack? Perhaps. But I just prefer the solo game, if I'm going to be honest.
See, I've got to say, I absolutely love team play, but I think it was probably with the group of guys that I was with. Team Northern Ireland, absolutely cracking bunch of lads. Couldn't go on holiday with the better lads. And that was what the ETC was to us. It was a holiday that we also got to play Warhammer on.
Right.
And yeah, there was never any, they didn't take it too seriously. You know, we were allowed to play what we wanted. I remember going to second year of Germany and was on the same flight as a couple of the English guys and a couple of the Welsh guys. And the English guys, when they got in, they wanted to go to bed and they weren't allowed to drink alcohol and things like that. And that was never going to be the case with us. We so rules like that, you know, them picking your army on what you're allowed to use or dictating what you're doing, that's not fun to me. So yeah, for me, it was always have a laugh with your mates, and we get to roll some dice.
Yeah.
And we had some cracking stories in it, you know, tales of woe and then epic wins. Yeah.
Well, the good news is we'll get to talk about them in a bit.
Oh, okay.
I mean, my trip was me and Will Godwin, a good friend of yours from back
Yeah.
in the day. We travelled from Newcastle together to Heathrow, and then we got, I think it was, we had to cross to Gatwick and then fly to Milan. But we didn't meet the team till we got to Milan because they were flying from other airports.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a long trip with just me and Will. And then we obviously bunked together when we got there.
Yeah.
Didn't
I think the first year I was there, I actually I was sharing with the guys from Team England, so I was actually in sharing with Michael Biggs,
all right. Well, that's not so
which
bad
yeah, well, I wasn't too. Although it will lead to some interesting stories.
then. All right then. So affiliations. As I said earlier, the gaming club that you played in, you kind of give us a heads up on that. But would you class yourself as affiliated to anything else?
I was affiliated, not necessarily in Warhammer days, but I was affiliated with the Durham Raiders for Ninth Age.
Right.
So apart from the Team Northern Ireland stuff, yeah. So when I played Ninth Age, I was kind of part of the Durham Raiders, and we used to go and steal trophies from the Scottish guys when they used to run tournaments. Good crack with some of them, and a few of those actually play the old world as well now. I've got Danny Minto,
Yeah.
who you may well know. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
he's
Danny.
one of the Durham Raiders, and we've had many nights together trying to trying to do well at Ninth Age tournaments.
Cool. It's something I've never played Ninth Age. I didn't do the Warhammer Armies project. I didn't do Ninth Age and like the 6th edition Resurgence. And I'm a bit gutted about that because I never knew what was going on. And you never
Yeah.
tell the Shane. You never rang us and said, Andy, this is going on.
Did I not? Oh, I must have lost you then.
I mean, just for the public out there, when 8th edition started, I become very disillusioned with Games Workshop and the system itself. So I left to play War Machine, and the club that we ran kind of dissolved a bit from there. And it was probably a good over 10 years out of wargaming where we weren't going to the same tournaments or traveling together.
Oh, I don't know. We had, do you know, I've completely forgotten. We had some Hordes and War Machines together, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, sorry, you did actually. My fantastic memory. Yeah, we did play. So you probably were around a lot longer than I thought in that case, Shane. Getting over these medical issues that I've had recently, some of the injections have had ruined my memory.
Well, tell me about memory loss.
Yeah, that's a story for later at all. So yeah, it was. I forgot all about you doing War Machine. Yeah, you used to come away to the Maelstrom events, and that, didn't you?
Yeah, I used to try and take the worst list I could possibly take and do well with it.
You probably have some kind of link to the Heaton Gamers who basically became like the
Yes.
Coffee the Samaria people.
Oh yeah.
Because they started to get into it when we went to War Machine. So yeah, oh, well, that's good. Remembered some stuff tonight.
Yeah.
All right then. So you never served on any comp committees or anything like that?
Not from what I can remember. I know I did some things with comping towards the end of 8th edition, but not any real comp committees or anything like that.
That's good because they should all be burned. Heretics that they are. Right then. Next question. What is your favourite army, Shane?
Oh, this one's actually a really easy one for me, and it's one that is not in the old world currently.
Right?
It's Dogs of War.
Dogs of War.
Yeah.
I think I would have said demons if I had to guess. But yeah, Dogs of War. What a classic army.
Ever since the book came out in, I want to say 5th edition, I loved them. My parents got me the Besiegers, Crossbowmen. I'm not even going to attempt pronunciation.
Braganzio's besiegers.
Yes, something like that. And the Alcanti Fellowship
Right.
pikemen,
Yeah.
the Weapons Guild 2 pikemen, and yeah, I absolutely loved them. And there was a year at the ETC that they allowed them. It was the second year of Germany, and
Right.
Long John Slayer Pirates, my favourite unit of all time.
Because
Pirates with pistols that were drunk.
fifth edition, if I remember rightly, Dogs of War.
5th edition Dogs of War. Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
that's when they got the book anyway.
So can you remember John Murphy, a friend of mine?
Yes. Yep.
So it was the first army he ever bought. It was the Dogs of War, and he allowed me to paint them for him. How kind of him. I mean, Murphy couldn't stick anything together, never mind paint it. But that's probably for another time.
Yeah.
But he had the Giants of Albion, he had the Bronzinos Galloper guns.
Yep.
He had the crossbowmen with the air pavisas. Was that Braganzas or was that a different one?
Yeah, that was Braganzas. That they had the Pavis.
Yeah.
Then you had the
And there was two different
Marksman of
pikeys.
Moralco, and then there was the Pizarro's Lost Legion, I think.
Yeah. Actually, was it not the Marksman and Miraglio that had the pavisas?
No, it was the Besiegers.
Right.
The Marksman were Ballistic Skill 4, and the Besiegers, sadly not.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
But they
both
were
of
cool
them.
models.
Yeah, and the Marksman had Miraglio, who was Ballistic Skill 5 or 6, wasn't he?
Yeah, something crazy like that.
Yeah. But he also had the Galloper guns. So yeah, I basically painted that army for him. He never ever played it. He sold it.
Oh, nice.
I think I played a few games of it just because I love the Giants of Albion. But then he went on to play Khorne Warriors of Chaos. But Dogs of War, yeah, a pretty solid pick for best army.
Do you remember the Games of War Christmas tournament? The pick the worst army you could use.
Yeah,
And mine was the Dogs of War with all the units you wouldn't pick, and the Giants of Albion were in there. And I remember sorry.
yeah,
My
was Hengist, wasn't it?
yeah, Hengist was there, but my paymaster got hit by a Screaming Skull catapult in the very first turn before I got to move, and killed, and almost my entire army ran off the board before the game started.
Yeah, that was an NWA Christmas event that we used to run
Yeah.
at Games of War. Back when I was in the Northern Warlords, we used to have a Christmas event every year. And this was kind of a version of that. But yeah, I took some stinking armies. I'm pretty sure I took an Empire one that was just flagellants and stuff like that.
Yeah. I do remember Will's very, very fluffy list.
No, it wasn't fluffy at all.
Bretonians.
Yeah,
What's the theme? Knights.
nice. It was a standard Bretonian list.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well down to the ground, isn't it, though?
Yeah,
I do miss the lad.
definitely.
But he's another one who I thought might have crept back in, but not heard hiding a hair from him.
Yeah. Neither have I.
Right, so that's a favourite army out the way. Now, actually, I'm going to talk about this here. You like to do things, and I'm going to call it the rule of cool, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the audience what that is?
The rule of cool is essentially when you are selecting an army, pick what's cool. Don't matter if it's good. Don't matter if people are winning tournaments with it or people are coming bottom of the table. If you think it's cool, bring it.
Cool. So what we're quickly going to do is I've just got a little slideshow here of some of your models, and we're just going to go through, and you can basically talk us through what they are.
Yep. So that's actually one of my 9th age units. That is a oh god, I can't even remember the name of what they are in fantasy.
They look like Vargeists.
Yeah, they're kind of like Vargas, but they're like the bigger ones. They were released during the end times. They were like all bone with halberds.
Right.
Can't for the life of me remember what the name of them are, but they are for my 9th age army. They're just kind of like massive giant ones. That is clearly a Savage Orc war boss with a great weapon.
Don't exist anymore, do
Well, he does in my mind.
they?
They are. God, I'm giving you all 9th age stuff. This is a unit of essentially Chaos Spawn. You can have
Right.
kind of units of them in 9th age, and I converted them up using Dryads and green stuff. Lots of
All
green
right.
stuff and
Cool.
tentacles.
I mean, essentially, it's just to show off your modelling and your style of armies and stuff like that. Because I think
Yeah.
one of the things that you're quite known for in Warhammer is having wild armies. You're not just someone who's going to bring a out of the box Empire army with all GW figures. You tend to go for like kit bash stuffed. So this looks like a kit bashed goblin bolt thrower.
That is indeed what it is. Yeah, it's a bolt thrower for my Orc and Goblin army. That is back in 8th edition.
And this is a big old squig.
Yeah, that was I was actually using it as a giant in my army, but it can fit in with a Mangler Squig now. It's the Forge World one.
Certainly could. High Elf Dragon.
High Elf Dragon. I've got
Sea bases.
I've got a naval themed High Elf army with all chariots, but they're all boats. I actually contacted Sarissa and commissioned them to make me a set of High Elf boats, and they've made it there. That was actually done for a painting tournament over, or painting competition, should I say, in COVID. My local shop, Gaming Figures, had a painting competition, and painted up a Nurgle guy.
Cool.
Some more squigs for my army, for my Orcs and Goblins.
Ooh, what's going on? Skaven is that? Yeah.
That is the Forge
Horned
World.
one.
Yeah, Forge World Vermin Lord. That is a magma dragon. That was sort of actually not too many years ago when they allowed the Monstrous Arcanum and the Storm's Magic to be used in 8th edition events. So yeah.
Now I've seen these. They weren't on these bases though.
No, well, this is that's the model I did for the painting competition. It's not quite the same one. That's one of the I can't think what they're called in Age of Sigmar. That's my Phoenix for one of my Phoenixes for my High Elf army. You probably noticed, I do tend to love a good old water base.
You do, yeah. I mean, I probably should have put these in a better order.
Don't worry.
Is that a bone grinder?
It's actually one of the Gargants from Age of Sigmar, but I put it on a square base. I use it in 9th, but it's on the same base for a bone grinder, pretty much. So yeah, I use that. There's some of the Age of Sigmar, the new Orc version Gut Rippers. I use them as Orcs with spears in my Orc and Goblin army.
Orcs with spears?
Yeah, I know.
Well,
that's my High Elf chariot / boat army.
How many chariots?
There is in that list. There's only 12 in that one. I actually got 20 commissioned.
And did these fight them? Did they?
Yeah, pretty much. That's I use that as one of my snotling
Bump wagons.
wagons, pump wagons. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all very interesting stuff. More squigs, probably for Age of Sigmar.
Oh,
Now I
you've
know
seen
this.
that model enough times. Yeah, that's my my
He's
Strigoi vampire on his
Terrorgeist.
Terrorgeist slash Shrieking Horror. If you play in ninth.
Yeah, I played against this guy and I couldn't kill him. He was a bit of a pain in the backside.
That's one of the I think it's Ogroid Thaumaturges. A nice unit of forest goblins there, although again don't exist
So
anymore in the old
common.
world.
Oh, no, there's not even a common goblin in the old world at the moment, is there?
No, I don't think there is actually.
Yeah, I think you've got to go to Chaos Dwarfs to get anything close to that.
Yeah, that's true. Could
Uh,
probably fit them in my Chaos Dwarf army to be fair, but no, Chaos Dwarfs.
so a
And
Doom
my
Diver.
Chaos Dwarf army has Chaos Dwarfs.
This looks like 40k. What's this doing
That
here?
is a 40k thing. Yeah, that's I put that in. Just that's my start of my Chaos Knights army.
Cool. That's your other.
My other Shrieking Horror. It's from my Zombie Pirates Vampire Counts army. Again, as you well know, themed. I don't have the magic in there. I've got no nothing that can be is particularly difficult to raise. It's all around
Yeah.
Strigoi. My ogre Stonehorn.
The thing is, like, I have you say that they're still competent armies. Like, you still do well with them.
Oh yeah, well, it all depends. Sometimes when I take something, it might still be good. It's just I want to try out a particular theme of a list. Like it won't be the top tier list or anything like that, but it'll be something that's maybe a little bit different. But I also like to try and do well with armies that nobody really uses because they're not very good, or take the kind of the units out of the book that just are pretty rubbish, to be honest, and just see if I can do well with them. I'm too old to really care that much about winning tournaments. I'm much happier if I do well with an army that everybody's like, oh my god, how can that do so well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what's on the painting table right now?
Ooh, it's probably quicker to say what's not on the painting table. I keep, as I said, butterfly. I like to move around stuff. So the main thing at the moment for the old world is Skaven.
Right.
So I've had a Skaven army for a while. I used to play Skaven, and I sold it a long time ago, and kind of regretted selling. Like a lot of people regretting selling armies, so decided to make them again for the old world, especially because in a lot of videos that I've seen online, a lot of people rate them as really bad. Now, you can look at the book and you think, yeah, I can see exactly where that's coming from, but I reckon there's some game in there, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there was the Death Star one where there were Steed of Shadow and about loads of
Oh,
poison.
the poison shooting one. Ah, yeah, that's gone now, which is fine because I was never going to use that anyway.
Well, you say
Um,
it's gone, but poison is it +2 to the strength of the shot?
It's +2 to wound for it, so it's still quite handy. It's the combination of that and the fact that travel mystical pathways is technically harder to cast now,
Yeah.
so it kind of limits a little bit what you can do. And again, it's one of those ones where it was a really good Death Star for the Skaven book,
hmm
but when you compare it to other Death Stars, it doesn't hold up.
No,
You can, if you get a good run, you can still, do really well with it. You could win tournaments with it. But I think with the changes of it now, it's not going to be as powerful as it was by any means. But as I said, I still think there are some interesting little things in there, and I've been challenged to try and do well with Skaven, so why
cool.
not?
I mean, I've just started a Vampire Counts army. I've been accused of meta chasing.
Yeah, do you know who accused you?
Probably you.
Mr. Toll. No, it was Mr.
Oh,
Toll. What a cheeky sod.
yeah. I mean, I'm not fussed about it. I have sat for about 6 months. You can ask Jack. You can ask well, you're in the NWA chat group, so
Yeah.
you'll have seen us. I was just, do I do Tomb Kings? Do I do Vamps? Do I do Tomb Kings? Do I do Vamps? I couldn't decide. Every week I was on a different bus, and I ended up, because I couldn't decide. I actually ended up doing other armies in between. I started the Cafe, I started the Beastmen Minotaur army,
Yeah.
just because I couldn't decide. And it was just being at a few tournaments and seeing people's vampires and obviously the range of figures you've got access to. I just find the Tomb King's range a bit stale.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
I've found some fantastically painted or 3D printed stuff online, and I am planning on doing a Tomb King's army that way. Although it's mainly themed around Ninth Age, to be honest, because you can
right.
go no magic in there, and I gotta love a no magic Tomb King's army.
Yeah, as I say, I decided to do the vamps in the end because I was talking to Mobboard at the Nations, and he showed us some stuff he'd been working on, and it just kind of sparked something off in my mind. I just got this very dark kind of idea
I've
of a quick
seen
scheme.
the pictures so far. It's looking fantastic with all the stuff you're doing.
Yeah, and it's painting up dead fast as well. And you know me, I love a fast army.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. My problem is actually deciding what one I'm gonna. So I've got all the Skaven models out, and it's about halfway painted, but I tend to flitter between stuff. So at the moment, I've also got Chaos Dwarfs and Orcs and Goblins and Wood Elves and Dark Elves and Ogres on my desk. And I've also got 40k. Oh, I've got Lizardmen as well. I've
Right.
got 40k stuff as well, and I've got Infinity models.
Sounds like a
So
bigger
yeah,
desk than me.
yeah, it's a fair whack of a size of stuff. It's probably a bit too crowded at the moment, to be fair.
Right. I just before, not this project, but the one before, I redesigned all my painting space with my painting racks and like a ring light and this, that, and the other. And I got myself an airbrush to try, and my table is an absolute tip again. I need to spend a bit of time because the paints just seem to come forward. It's like rank and file soldiers.
Oh
They're
yeah,
in all the racks, but now they're like they're encroaching onto my gaming space.
I'm exactly the same. Although I did the problem, I went to IKEA and bought one of the pegboards and all the little things to hang them up, and it's still in its plastic wrap down on next to the board. I haven't got around to putting it all up yet, and I'm still painting and building and what have you.
But I have found that like I won in a competition. I don't know why I entered it, but I spent about £2 to enter this competition. I popped up on Facebook, and I won a full set of speed paints, and they've revolutionised my painting. I've done the Minotaur army in 3 days. These vamps I've done 40 zombies and 28 ghouls in 4 hours. Just like if you want to paint fast now, you can literally paint fast. You can
Yeah.
get an army on the table in a week and still have it look what I think is like to a reasonable tabletop standard.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely. I think the speed paints contrast,
Yeah,
the Vallejo Express color ones, I use all those as well. I kind of mix them in with because I also use the airbrush,
yeah,
and kind of mix everything together, and yeah, they can be great for especially speeding up your painting, but also just making it quite a lot simpler for you.
yeah. It's I've just found them really, 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 really good. So I've been cracking on with them. As I say, the issues with my hands, my eyes, the fact I can't sit in the seat for a long time. I just had to find faster ways of doing stuff. And also in this day and age, I'm just more about playing the game and having armies on the table than putting Rembrandts out there. Yes, in the past I've done some nice armies, but they were never like Tim Fisher or Joe Sturge armies. There weren't anything that was going to be on the top tables winning painting competitions. I think my niche is just getting armies out there so I can
Yeah,
play with them.
I'm kind of the other way around. I used to be like all playing kind of paint up the army as quickly as possible, get it on the table, and now I've got enough armies to be able to play stuff that is fully painted while I'm painting other things up that I really like, and I actually quite enjoy. I find it quite relaxing to just sit down and paint for a few hours at a time. Obviously, it's a bit different if you've got a deadline and you need to get something painted in in kind of record time, as you well know. Well, you are pretty quick at painting, and so can I be sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen
Uh,
you turn out armies in a week, no, for sure.
yeah,
I think was it the High Elves for the last
the Forgotten North
the
event.
Forgotten North event? Yeah, you've done
Yeah,
them in.
yeah, just over a week for the entire army, and it turned out actually not too bad. It wasn't going to be winning any painting awards or anything, I don't think, but still pretty good.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I think it's a skill in its own being able to turn out an army in such a small time,
Yeah,
yet still have people turn around and like compliment it and say that it looks good. I don't know if you remember back in the day, people would always pick a figure up and have a look at it close up.
Yeah,
These days, I don't see people doing that anymore. I don't know if it's the thing that like younger people don't like touching each other and stuff like that. I don't know if it's a
I think it's
tactile thing.
fear of breaking models as well.
Yeah, I mean there is a lot more like 3D printed stuff around, but so people have this more I call it the free foot view of the army. So they're not going to be seeing all of the nice details and stuff. So as long as it looks cohesive and great on the table as an army, I think that is the same as what the picking the miniature up and having a look at it used to be.
Yeah,
I just think there's nothing better than playing a game with two fully painted armies, with two people who've spent the time and effort to get something painted on the table, and
I
then you
agree.
just have a good game, good spirits, and you either win, lose, or draw. What was the team used to say? Win or lose, we'll drink your booze.
That we do,
Yeah.
or
So
did, whichever way you look at it.
yeah, I'm not much of a drinker these days, and I know you've had to give up.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, two of the things. I'll tell you what. Let's start off and have a look at what do you think your best game ever was.
Oh, and best game in what way?
Well, that's up to you. You can decide. I've just basically said best game.
Yeah.
It could be the best outcome. It could be that you won a tournament because you kicked somebody's head in the final. It could be it was an epic game that was 4,000 points and it took you like 8 hours to play. It's up to you.
Ooh. So I think best game, and it may be a little bit controversial,
Right?
but it would be back in seventh edition
Mm-hmm.
at the ETC and it was second year of it for me, second year of Germany,
Yeah.
and I was running my Dogs of War. As I said before, they are my favourite army. And Dogs of War was seen as a really rubbish army, the worst of the worst at that point because they didn't really have any specialities. They're essentially a lot of regiments of renown, which were quite interesting regiments, but essentially you paid to have a character who was mostly useless in the unit and
Yeah.
full command and what have you. So the unit of Mengil's Manhide Manflayers, about almost 500 points
Yeah.
for
They
a
were
full
the
unit, and
Dark
they
Elf
were like dark
crossbowmen,
elf.
were they?
Yeah, they were the dark elf crossbowmen shade ones, and they were pretty handy. So it will before the actual ETC itself, and there's a couple of ones I had to kind of choose between for this, and it was at the same ETC. There was a singles event, and it was actually 1,500 points army swap. And I'll never forget this one because I came up against an American player. But he had a Dark Elf army, and at that point it was the fully filthed out, fully tricked out Dark Elf army. And the kind of round itself was 2 games. It was an army swap round first, so you got to use his army, your opponent's army, and he got to use yours. And
Yeah.
then after the end of it, you switch around. So I basically took as rubbish a Dogs of War army as I possibly could because I thought Dogs of War, they're not a popular army. Not that many people are going to know how to play it, and I might be able to smash them on my game when I'm using their army, and then hold back when I'm using my own army and win that way. So I must admit he was a little bit cocky. And he thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna really take you out, and so I thought that's okay. So I was using his filthy Dark Elf army. He was using my rubbish Dogs of War army, and it was on the 20-0 system. So after about 3 turns, he had nothing left. It was brutal, 20-0 straight down the line. And he said, "Oh, it's because you had such a rubbish army. I could never win with it." And I said, "Well, let's have a look and see how it goes if we switch it around and go that way." And at this point, a lot of his teammates had sort of crowded around the table and were watching. And then I go and beat him 18-2. So it ends up 38-2 overall. And him and his team were just so shocked that it happened because how could you beat this everything that's really good in Dark Elves, the Dark Elf Assassin, the Hydras, and there was me running a Halfling Hot Pot and some basic human cavalry and a
Fallen
paymaster.
Senators.
Yeah, well, I had a paymaster with nowhere for him to sit. He was on his own with no equipment. So basically, if you killed him, most of the army got panic. So yeah, it was all kind of like stuff that you wouldn't really use.
Right.
But I made it work, and yeah, that's one of my favourite games. The other one will probably get the same event, but later on in the teams. I was running a big block of Long Run Slayer pirates in that, and I kind of had a bit of a gotcha moment against a player from Greece, a Warriors player who thought his Death Star of Chaos Knights would be really good against my Long Run Slayer pirates. But unfortunately, started the turn on the hill, and at that point, if you were on a hill, you could
You're shooting
fire
all
all
ranks.
ranks of them.
Yeah.
So, and I'd cast some spells on the unit to give them rerolls to hit and rerolls to wound. It was all about the heavens magic back then. And so after the stand and shoot happened, he had one wound left on a Chaos Lord going into a big block of Slayers, which was pretty funny, I must admit. They're probably some of the best games. There's so many good games I've had over the years, and I haven't, won all of them by all means. There's been some cracking ones where I've lost 20-0 because I've been playing an 8th edition and I've had Beastman character that gives everybody within 12 inches stupidity, including your own stuff. And
Right.
my entire army went stupid in front of a dwarf army and got flag charged by hammerers and slayers and absolutely torn to shreds. But, I'd win or lose, we drink your booze.
That's it. So actually, I think there's a good little thing here. Let's go from the best game. They were the worst of times. So this is like, what was your just thinking about Warhammer here? What's left sour grapes in your mouth? What do you think was the worst time for Warhammer over the years?
Worst game I've ever had, or worst period of Warhammer.
I think period. I think this is more. I didn't. I want to keep it kind of positive. I don't want to talk about
Yeah,
worst games.
yeah,
So
we know what my worst game is.
yeah,
Um, I think worst period for me personally was towards the end of 8th edition when they released the end times, and I still really enjoyed 8th. It had its problems,
yeah,
quite a lot of problems, but I got to play with my mates, and we still went to quite a few tournaments. But the end times kind of changed a lot of stuff, and there was it kind of mixing up army books for no real reason, introducing completely overpowered special characters, and I'll always remember going to one of the Sheffield Slaughters, them allowing end times, and the results at the end of it, the top 10 were I think 7 Malekith armies, 1 Empire, 1 Chaos, and 1 just normal Dark Elf army, I think it was.
right.
But all armies that were everything that was the best out of Wood Elves, Dark Elves, and High Elves, and then a 1,000-point character who could essentially win the game by himself. It wasn't for fun.
I honestly don't know a lot about the end times. Well, as we discussed earlier, I was probably even getting out of War Machine by that point. I was probably going into my 10-year gaming exodus, where I just basically stepped back from it for a full stop. So
Yeah.
I have no experience of the end times whatsoever.
I can say is you didn't miss much.
Yeah,
A lot of broken stuff.
I think on our trip home from the Forgotten North tournament, you were chatting about it, and that was the first I'd ever heard about it. I didn't even know end times was a thing.
Yeah. And it just the story and everything but just wasn't good. And it's the kind of fluff quite often that sells the game to you. The I'll give Ninth Age its dues. It's an absolutely fantastic rule set. It's so crisply written. It's so there aren't really those interpretive rules that you get a lot in the
Fantasy.
old world,
Yeah.
because the rules in the old world sometimes are maybe not quite as cleanly written
Hmm.
and open to interpretation. And it was quite difficult for me coming from Ninth Age to the old world going, right, okay, what needs to happen here? I have no idea because it's not clear and it doesn't direct me to anywhere in the rulebook. But the one thing the Ninth Age does lack is, unfortunately, a cohesive set of stories and fluff.
Right.
It's working on it, don't get me wrong, but it's full of volunteers, so it can only be done at a certain pace. Whereas the mighty GW machine trundles on forward, and you have those stories of special characters like the Green Knight doing certain things like ruining people's days, and other characters like Skaven special characters. You can just think, oh, like this army is going to be themed around clan Moors, which is all about the clan rats.
Yeah,
And yeah, you don't get that in ninth, unfortunately.
yeah, it is. Like, as much as it's great to have a great set of rules, I think without the background and the fluff, so much of the game is lost. So it is good that Games Workshop actually pad it all out and add that stuff in.
Although that being said, some of the fluff from the Cathay book is a little bit kind of white savior there. We save everything.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I've put my cafe away for the time being. There's just so much hate online about them. It's actually getting embarrassing.
Yeah, mine are getting painted up and sold. Although I've only glued 5 models together, so.
Well, this is my take on it, right? The cafe army, as it stands, is basically okay, but balloons are so far broken that, and only a certain type of balloon. I think if you take just the Jazeel balloons, they're even not so bad. The balloon army, yeah, it's dick, and everyone is.
I kind of think the Schwengen Lords, I think they're a little bit undercosted, personally.
Possibly. I mean, I played a tournament with one, and he didn't even charge in the entire game. Like that, I just didn't seem to do much.
Yeah.
I didn't have the confidence in him just to start putting him into stuff. But no, I mean, I think the entire army is being brought down by people's hate for the balloons. And I get that most tournaments are going to cap them to 2, and that's fine. I actually built the entire army and had it and played it the first few times, and I didn't have a balloon. I only bought a balloon because I was going to a tournament with it. I broke the internet by not winning with Cafe. I had a 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw kind of. The cannons are probably better than Empire cannons, but you're paying a lot more for them. And the Ogre Loader is only like you can only fire them or get a reroll once. And you'd be surprised how many times you need to use that reroll and lose the second shot.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think for me, I really like the aesthetic of Cathay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of the lack of units at the moment. I think when they release more stuff, assuming they are going to over time, I might pick them up again. The balloons were never a big thing for me, because I've transported enough big models to know that things break easily.
Yeah.
And those models are huge.
They are. They're some size.
I do not fancy doing that.
I mean, they make Archeon look small, them things.
Yeah. Although I do have an idea for a really nicely painted balloon, but that may come in the future if they ever make them worse.
Well, mine have just gone back in the box for now. I've heard on the grapevine that, like through rumours and stuff like that, that in one of these new Arcane journals that's coming out, they're going to be able to do something with another army. It's another army that I own. I'm not going to spoil it for everybody because I'm going to leave that for other podcasts to do. I think it'll come back out when I can use it in conjunction with the other army. And some of the heat's gone off it in that, it's not just, you're playing that army because it's got the best balloons and this, that, and the other. That's a little bit of my worst of times at the moment. Our last topic of conversation is probably the best one, tournament anecdotes. Now, I've got a couple of things I want to ask you about just before we start. The first one is, you used to run a tournament, didn't you, with Will Godwin?
I did, yes. Teesside Terror.
The Teesside Terror, yeah. How did that come about?
Well, Will and I were both at university at Teesside at the time, and decided, we would sort a tournament out. Really, we both worked for the Teesside Student Union. Will was a bar, and I was in entertainments and promotions. So we arranged to hire the club upstairs in the Students' Union. But basically decided that we wanted to try and get our own tournament going there. I think we ran it about 4 or 5 times.
I think it was 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think, and at the end of it, I think that was towards when fantasy was on a bit of a decline. So we kind of did a split, Hordes and War Machines, as well as Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite good at having the bar straight away there, and the food was always handy.
So my 3 takeaways from this event was, 1, carrying the MDF boards up 4 flights of stairs.
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
Yeah,
We'll ordering the boards that got delivered.
in the van, yeah.
I said, yeah, I think we'll be fine because we've got supported tables. We'll be fine with 9mm.
Yeah.
Will orders 20, I want to say 24.
I
Whichever
think it
way.
was a 48-man tournament, so I think it was about 24 boards.
Yeah, well, no, I mean it was the thickness of the board. They were
Oh, yeah.
a hell of a lot more than 9,
All
and
right.
Phil and I had to lug each of those individually up the stairs by
Yeah.
ourselves, and then paint them, and then take them back downstairs.
I just
And
remember bringing them up for the tournament.
oh yeah, it was essentially. I think that was the decline of our tournament. We started off with about 40 odd players, and then the next one it dropped to about 30 odd, and then 20 odd. Yeah, it's all because of the boards having to be moved.
Remember,
They were heavy.
I had to drive to Middlesbrough and help you get the boards upstairs. And oh Christ, I think come the first round, I just wanted to go to bed.
Yeah.
And then on the night time, they had the bloody roller disco come in, so I had to shift everything for the
we
roller
shifted
disco.
them over to the other side of the building, didn't we?
Yeah, bonkers. But at least we're allowed to stay and go on the roller disco. That was fun.
Yeah.
The less said about me and roller skates, the better.
The less said about me and alcohol, the better.
Yeah, that was so. That was my one thing. I actually forgot the other 2 things I was going to mention about the Teesside tear-up. Wonderful memory, Andrew. Wonderful
Nothing
memory.
to do with Silent Shane, was it?
No, that's the second point I'm going to raise. But I had 3 things I remembered about Teesside tear-up that were worthy of chatting about. It might come back to us later on. But yes, so another one of my favourite things of Shane Baxter was you got some form of laryngitis.
I did, yeah.
And was it through work or something that happened at work?
It wasn't through I don't know how it happened, but yeah, I got laryngitis and it damaged my voice box and my vocal cords. So I had no voice for about 9 months.
Was it just 9 months? I thought it was longer than that. But then again, we did used to crack out a lot of tournaments back then. But I just remember playing in a GW GT, and you were on the table next to us, and you were just flashing these flashcards up at people. Yeah. I couldn't play my game.
Yeah. And I think was that the one that I came second in?
It could well have been.
I think it might have been.
I wouldn't like to guess where I finished because, as I say, I was just done for after that first game of watching you just charge.
Yeah. Siren Song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Bent Demons. Yeah, that was the one that I came second in, I think. And I also had a hip flask with me, and the guys at Games Workshop confiscated it, but I told them it was medicinal.
Yeah.
For my throat, so they provided me with spirits through the day. Very kind of them.
That's very nice, yeah. I have a funny feeling that event was the one where I managed to get myself kicked out of Games Workshop on 2 or 3 occasions because we all got very, very drunk, and I kept falling asleep on the stairs.
I know you definitely fell asleep in one of the chairs that they had.
Yeah, that was probably the first time.
Yeah.
It was when we did the top shelf challenge.
Yeah, if falling asleep in a chair or on the stairs was the worst thing we ever did, then yeah, we're not going to that.
Well, obviously we did say at the start that we wouldn't name names, but Christ, we had some nights out. Rock City being one.
Rock City was an interesting one. A certain member losing his glasses in a mosh pit.
Yeah,
was interesting. A certain member's promiscuous hands, and we won't go any further on that one.
Yeah, so I got refused entry, and I actually had to go back to the hotel and get my trainers on because I had, you know what I was like back then. I was a bit of I used to think I was out of Miami Vice or something like that, but I had some white snakeskin loafers. And I got to the door, and the guy just went, "You can't come in with them, son." And I'm like, "Why not?" He's like, "They'll get fucked on the carpets." I was like, "But it's my choice." He's like, "Nah, just in case you try to take us to court." I was like, "Oh, bloody hell." Jump a taxi back to the hotel, get my trainers, come back. And then when I got back, I couldn't find anybody. So I made the mistake of going into a sidebar where there was some maybe Red Hot Chili Peppers kind of esque band playing. Stood next to the bar, and I just ordered my drink and turned around, and this guy starts chatting to us, and he's dressed completely in body tape, nothing else, head to toe in body tape. And I was just like, what's going on here? So I quickly found Tristan and Shabba, and we just got out of there and went across the road to the Reflex Bar and had, well, I'm not even going to say it was a normal night. There was just more happened across there.
I don't think, as members of the NWA, I know you obviously had a bit more with the Northern Warlords before, but as members of the NWA, I don't think we ever had a normal night.
Oh, no, definitely not.
I can't think of any normal nights. I can remember a night in Liverpool when we got taken into like a downstairs nightclub,
The
and it
Grafton.
was, yeah, it turns out there was only us in there, and so we have
Oh,
a few drinks,
the
and then the
Grafton.
smoke machine comes on.
Yeah.
You and Rooney dancing yourselves away through the
Oh,
smoke.
no, that was
All
Matthew
at,
Street.
was
That
it?
was, yeah, Matthew Street. There was
I,
Paul,
there
me,
was,
you, and Rooney went out.
yeah. And I just remember some students, or what looked like some students, came down the stairs afterwards, and the room was full of smoke. And then there's just you and Rooney coming coming out of the smoke to throwing out some shapes, and they just backed slowly up the stairs.
That was quite a good dance from my youth, I'd like to say. That was the Grafton. No, that was Matthew Street for sure, because we went up to Carlisle Square afterwards. And there's two bars. There's Modo and there's Mood. And being dyslexic, everyone was telling us they were in Mood, and I went into Modo and I was looking for them for hours. And I just kept looking at the text going, I'm in the right place. And I wasn't. And the only way I found everyone is because there was a fire alarm and went outside and I found you outside. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
I
But
think I
that
spent
was,
most of my time in Pop World.
yeah, that would be the Adelphi tournaments that the Terra Nova Griffins ran.
Yeah.
Famous for Timmy Mallet coming in and like telling us that he loved wargaming and stuff like that.
And also famous for a certain lady of the night slipping cards underneath your door, and the Captain Ahab Harpoon a Whale Award.
Yeah, we'll just call him ST.
Still a bond.
That's it. That last went round everybody in the room and got knocked back. But no, ST, he done it. He took one for the lads.
He did.
And got crucified the next morning for it.
But it was well worth it.
Yeah, the NWA, we went to a lot of tournaments. We had the Silent Shane incident. We had I don't know if you can remember, we'll not name the hotel, but we snuggled about 3 sports bags full of cans into it.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you mean.
Yeah.
Was it around a certain
Roundabout.
WPS event? Yeah.
It was, yeah. Yeah, we went to this off license, the big sports soccer bags, filled them with as many cans as we could get back into this place because, frankly, the bar prices were just nothing Northern people were going to pay. They were a bit silly. But
I think Boney and I actually put them in the downstairs toilets.
yes, I was just about to say,
bowls.
we had to find a way of like getting rid of all the cans because we couldn't just leave them lying about. They were all disposed of in one of the toilets. You shut the door and I think just tipped them in.
Yeah, sounds about right.
God, I could go on for hours. Dean in the play park. We'll not say anything more about that.
Let me get my socks on.
Yeah. The Indian restaurant on the nighttime. Was it Indian or Chinese? I forget.
The Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, the Chinese restaurant.
When they're about to close, I know which one.
Yeah, it was. Oh Christ, we had some great times in the NWA. Actually, my favourite NWA moment had to be the battle bus.
The battle bus was a fantastic thing.
Yeah, and for the people watching, basically, we got the whole team and decided that rather than travel down individually, we would hire a massive minibus, and some idiot would drive it to Nottingham, take one for the team. In fact, it wasn't a club challenge; it was Sheffield. We went to the Sheffield Slaughter. Yeah, so we got everyone in the minibus. Needless to say, everyone just went on a drinking rampage. I remember Martin never even got to the third game. He was asleep in the bus. On the drive home, Dean had went in to use the toilet and we drove off and we made them chase the bus trying to get back on it.
I remember that.
We made the CD where everyone on the bus was allowed to pick a song for the CD. Yep. And then I done an introduction to introduce the songs and why they might have been picked. And PD.
Do you remember what your song was?
I can't, but I remember Paul's was Master and Servant by.
It was.
We're just like, Paul, what goes on in your life?
Yeah. I
actually remember Dave Foxall. He picked the Scroobius Pip and Don's Lassac, Thou shall not. I can't remember it.
Dave was always a dark horse.
Yeah, he was. Mark picked the Riders on the Storm, the Snoop Dogg version, and I think that's all the ones I can remember.
Mine was Time Bomb by Rancid.
Right? Yeah, but we had a full team. I mean, the CD lasted half the way down there, and then we just
Ah,
played it
yeah,
again. It was that funny.
it was cracking.
Yeah,
The battle bus was it was one of my that reminds me of some of the like best times I had in my life doing that. We had some fantastic events and like just all the laughs and all the ribbon we had between us, and yeah, it was
yeah.
just so much fun.
I mean, in its heyday, the NWA was by far one of the best clubs you could have been in. We had a load of members. We were quite organised. We were basically helping each other get to tournaments all the time. People were struggling a bit with cash and stuff like that. Would help each other get tickets from our subs that we used to take in. We would put buses on or just make sure that the car shares were sorted out. But essentially, it was a fantastic club. And
We
I have,
also took in some waifs and strays.
we did,
We
yeah,
had Michael Dodsworth,
yeah, the Rainbow Army.
the narcolepsy.
Yes, he fell asleep during most games. Just shift the table state around a bit and wake him up, Michael, Michael. But no, and it's one of the reasons why not resurrected the NWA as such, but I have kind of got the guys back together, and we're kind of, when we do go to a tournament, we're kind of playing under that badge, just because I would like to think that one day we might actually get it running similarly again. I know at least 80% of the players have either not playing the game or they've drifted away and they're doing other stuff. I don't think there was a lot of falling out, but yeah, I just think looking back, we definitely could have dissolved it better. But it's very much, I very much enjoy having it back there. And, maybe it's one day when a lot more of the guys start playing the game, because I always have my fingers crossed that some of the other guys will come back and play again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe we'll get back to that state.
Maybe. I mean, people's lives change, don't they? And that's the thing. It's a lot of the guys that kind of
Yeah.
either moved away or don't play war games at all now, which is that's completely up to them. It is a shame because the NWA was a fantastic club.
Yeah, it's how can I put it? Everyone seems to now be where I was then when I started wargaming. My son was just about 2 year old. My wife looked after him a lot when I was away playing, and it kind of enabled me to actually to go away and have great weekends and stuff like that. And I find a lot of the guys now are kind of in that position now where they've got young kids or the kids are getting a bit older and stuff like that. But there's several more years to go. I definitely see myself playing the hobby for a good time yet.
Ah, yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, it's kind of my main hobby now, wargaming. I don't really do a huge amount else, so apart from family time, but it kind of all of my time is really dedicated towards it. So it's and it's been a constant of my life, since I was a little lad. So I'm not gonna give it up straight so easily.
No, that's definitely it. I mean, let's face it, when you break it down, it's a three-part hobby. It's a social hobby. Like unlike I do a bit of computer gaming where I've run clans for World of Tanks and stuff like that. And yeah, it's social, but you never meet anybody face to face. It's all just done through TeamSpeak or Discord. And people come and people go, and you don't really create solid friendships with them. Yeah, they're there to have a chat with and stuff like that. Whereas I can honestly say, in wargaming, I think I could travel around the country and stop in most cities, and I'd know somebody there who would offer us a bed for the night.
I
Because I
think
made
that's one of the things for me that the ETC was great with. Not only do I know people around the UK, I know people in lots of countries abroad, and I'd happily like meet up with them for a chat, a cuppa, potentially get a place to stay,
yeah,
which is fantastic. And there's not many hobbies that you can actually say that would happen in.
yeah. I mean, as I say, it's a great old hobby. The second part of it is the painting and modelling. It kind of gives us something to do. It fills part of my life. I'm not a great telly watcher. I leave that to the wife. She loves the TV, so I never get a looking at it. But I'd much rather sit at my painting table, with maybe a YouTube video on like this in the background, just listening to some people waffle away about the hobby, painting up some miniatures. It makes us happy. It gives us something to do, and obviously that then lets us go out and do the third part of the hobby, and that's getting out of the house, playing some games, going to tournaments, meeting new people, and just get a lot from it.
And also meeting up with old friends. I mean, the last tournament we went to in Durham, we met up with quite a few people that we hadn't seen in a while, really, and yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah, I mean, we met
Meet
up
up
with
and chat.
Keith Wilkinson, went out for a curry.
Yeah.
In the Durham before that, there was like Martin Bunton, Eddie McWalter, John Dale all came up, and it was nice to catch up with them. And sometimes, this sounds horrible, but I'd been through the mill a bit, and it was nice to hear that, I wasn't the only one. There was other people who were starting to get back on their feet after illness and stuff like that. And it just makes you feel not alone in stuff. It makes you feel like you've not gone through it together, but people have got that kind of sense of commonality.
Yeah, wargamers were not the healthiest of bunch generally.
No, I mean, obviously, me and you share a bit of a condition these days. We have to keep ourselves better than we used to. I'm pretty sure when we do get on the road again, none of them old times will happen. We'll just have to live on the memories.
Well, never say never, Sib. Never say never.
I honestly don't think I could do it. I think if I went out and hit the town like I did back then, wouldn't be making game 4. Mind you, saying that, the only times I drink now, a little bit on holiday and when I go to my DJ nights out with some of my friends. And I'm normally all right the night after, the day after. I don't think I would be getting up at 8 o'clock and having a breakfast and going and playing games. But I'm certainly not like lying on the bed like I've been took down by a missile launch or anything like that.
I mean, yeah, gone are the days, unfortunately, that I can do a great deal of that. But the inner Shane is still wanting to break out somewhere.
What you looking forward to? What you going to this year?
Oh, what tournaments have I got left? I'm still trying to convince the wife to go to Toy Soldier. Currently, it's not looking quite what I want to.
I'm absolutely gutted I can't go. I have a gig that I signed up for, and I've had an ask of other DJs to see if they could cover it, but it's not happening. So I am devastated that I'm not going to the Toy Soldier Resurrection because everybody I want to see is going to be there.
Yeah.
And it is
and I nearly
little
sold
moving.
out as well. I was thinking, I'm gonna have to get my tickets in soon if I can.
The only way I would give up on this gig and just come is if Marauder Mitch came.
If Rob Mitchell does turn up, I will be absolutely gutted if I miss it.
So you'll have the Forgotten North GT in.
Yep, I've got the Forgotten North GT. I'm not sure if I'm able to go to the Durham one yet, but I've got the Forgotten North GT coming up in, I think that's November.
Mm-hmm. And did you see I had another one in August, September time?
I think there's one, it's either September or October. There is the Durham, is it the, not the team event, the doubles? Is it doubles?
Yeah, there's a doubles event. Me and Jack are doing that, and that'll be interesting. Then the next Durham event, I think, was it end of January, beginning of February? I forget. I'm probably down for that. Yeah, it'll be. I think I'll only get to about 2 or 3 for the rest of this year.
Yeah, I'll not. I've kind of knee deep in a new job and a master's degree, so I'm kind of a bit busy at the moment. A bit time light.
And these things happen. I mean, I myself, I'd done a degree about. Well, it was during COVID. I don't know. I just fancied going and doing something a bit different. And it did turn out to be a lot different, but it does eat a lot of time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work to be done. Well, I think we have reached the conclusion to this. I know for sure that me and you could have went through the tournament anecdotes for probably another hour.
Well, at least.
Yeah, but
I'm not entirely sure anybody wants to hear them, or whether the video might get removed from YouTube.
Yes, quite possibly. We could just go on and on and on and on because we've had many, many fine times.
We have.
Down the line. So all that remains then, Shane, is for me to thank you for coming on this pilot episode.
No worries, Sib. You know me, I'm happy to talk and have a mouth that runs forever.
Yeah, like obviously being a good chat. It's rekindled some old times. It's made me realise that my camera's up there. yeah, up there, and you're over here on the screen, so I need to start looking at the camera, not you. But these are the things you learn when you're doing podcasts and stuff like that.
I've been doing too many Teams interviews and stuff this week, or Zoom ones to be to lose my focus on the camera.
Yeah, it's I worked in technology for years, Zoom calls and stuff like that, even podcasts. For like the first time I went on one, they scared the shit out of us. I'm a DJ by trade. I talk to the public face to face, but as soon as you put cameras there, I don't know, it just all becomes completely different. I've got a face for radio, like, so it's one of them things that I never ever thought I would do a podcast, but it's here. I'm looking forward to doing many more episodes, and maybe we'll get you back on down the line a bit.
Maybe after I've won a tournament with Skaven.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So
I'll be all white haired then completely, and or no hair, whichever.
Lose your hair. As we were getting around to there, Shane, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you very much for the chat tonight. And I wish you the very best in your gaming future. And long may we travel to tournaments together.
I'm sure we will. And for anybody watching, like and subscribe for the future for Sib.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got 2 more chats lined up. I'm not too sure which will be the next one, but it probably will be looking at my Northern Warlord days and one of the guys from the Northern Warlords. Good night, everyone, and I hope to have this stream up very shortly, so catch you on the other side.
There you will. Good night, Sib.
Well, that brings us to the end of that episode, my very first episode. I've really enjoyed doing it, and I'd really like to thank Shane for being the guinea pig, as I said in the video. Please like, subscribe, and leave some comments. I'd really love to hear what you guys think of the videos. Are they worth doing? Who would you like to see on? Throw some ideas at me, because it's a chat for the community to enjoy. So make sure that you're letting us know in the comments basically who you would like to see, and I'll see what I can do. I'll work my magic to try to get them on. But for now, good night, and I will catch you in the next episode.